it's a big plane, and we were, we were packed. But you kind of prepare yourself. You know it's going to be a long flight. So I slept maybe 2 hours, and it was so much to soak in, and it was nonstop, nonstop. I mean, by the time we got there till we left, it was a big trip, big. And those two weeks just flew by. I have to say, when we went into the mountains, where the monks were living up in the mountains, we couldn't go where the men were, but we got to go in a monastery where the women were. But when you walk in, you're overwhelmed with what you see on the walls. It's just, you look straight up like this, and all the paintings and things that are in those cathedrals and those monasteries, and those women live up in those mountains like that, and that's what they do. That's where they live and take care of everything. And things like that are overwhelming to me, because you feel the spirit of the Holy Spirit that's there. And it's felt every day for those ladies to know what they do and what they sacrifice for God, and make sure things are preserved for people in our lifetime to see what was there. And when Paul was there, it's amazing. And what was really special, the artists that drew, that had a lot to do with the paintings in those cathedrals and monasteries where we saw mosaics of things painted and stuff. We went to his workshop, and the man that was doing the paintings, his son was there, and he still paints. He's an older man, and he still paints. And he showed us all his work and stuff, and everybody bought something from him, I think, while we were there. But he was working on a painting, and on the back of them, he does all kind of stuff, like he's signing it on the back, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. But some of us bought those paintings. So it's something of value that can be kept for generations and generations and generations. So that was pretty awesome to me, because paintings to me are just beautiful. And that's to see what they do on those walls and those churches and those monasteries will take your breath away. It's just absolutely beautiful. And to see the mosaics, how it's pieced together like that, such artistry is just beautiful. And you see that all throughout every place you go, it's beautiful to realize that. And then when you see in the countryside, and then when you go into those mountains, like I said, where the monks and the things that are built up on mountains that are just way high, and you go, oh my gosh, and going up is like zigzag in a big bus. The bus drivers were wonderful. How they parked that bus in places that they did is just beyond me. But that was just really my highlight, was seeing everything up in the mountains like that, and being able to see that monastery and go in the churches and see the artistry and what God gave them, and the stories that are on the walls. It tells the story of the Bible. If you look, there's one place, there's in sections, and as the guy talks with you, you can see it, and when you first look at it, you don't notice it. But when she points it out to you, you see the stories of the Bible all over those walls, and it tells the story, and it just surrounds you. Zena was the lady that was our guide. She flew in from where she lives to come, be our tour guide, and she stayed with us. She was so knowledgeable. She's been a guide for like 35 years, and we all fell in love with her, and she was just amazed with all of us, because we just took her under our wing and loved on her and enjoyed her. And she says, I've just never experienced this. So when it came time for us to have our final night, they came, and we were hugging her and telling her how much we loved her and we're going to miss her. She says, y'all just have to stop. She said, I'm going to get emotional. She said, but y'all are just so sweet and loving, and And she's such a wonderful person, and she just made the trip even better. We enjoyed our guides, you know. She did a job, and it was a big job. I mean, she was on point and just gave us so much knowledge and made sure we knew what we were looking at. And it was a wonderful trip, and us being together, and it was just wonderful. You step back in the past, is what you do. It makes you think. But I'm glad I went. Very, very glad I went. You know, I know we didn't get to go to Israel. I'm glad we got to go. And we learned more truths about what God did for us. And to me, that makes it even more important than anything else, is to remember what He did for you.